If this video doesn't shift something in you even a little, tell me in the comments, and I'll personally give you what you came here looking for. There's a certain kind of person almost everyone knows, but very few truly understand. They're the quiet one in the room, the one who listens more than they speak, the one who notices everything but says almost nothing. And if you're honest, maybe that person is you. Silent people are often misunderstood as shy, weak, distant, or uninterested. But the truth is far more complex, far more powerful, and far more human than most people ever realize. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is full. Silent people are not blank pages. They are libraries no one bothers to read. Think about how the world rewards noise. The loudest voice gets the attention. The most confident speaker gets the promotion. The person who talks the most is assumed to know the most. But life doesn't actually work that way, does it? How many times have you met someone who talked endlessly, yet said nothing meaningful? And how many times have you sat next to someone quiet, who when they finally spoke made the entire room stop? Silent people usually speak last, not because they have nothing to say, but because they're still watching. They're reading the room. They're picking up on tones, expressions, contradictions. While others are busy trying to be heard, silent people are busy understanding. And understanding takes time. There's a reason silent people often feel older than their age. They've spent a lifetime observing human behavior instead of performing for it. They know how people change their voices when they lie. They notice who interrupts and who never gets the chance to speak. They remember how someone treated them when no one else was watching. Silence sharpens perception. Have you ever noticed how silent people are usually the ones you go to when life falls apart? Not the loud motivators, not the constant talkers, but the quiet friend who sits with you, doesn't rush you, doesn't interrupt your pain, and somehow makes you feel understood without saying much at all. That's not an accident. Silent people know that sometimes presence is louder than advice. Many silent people became that way because life taught them early that words can be unsafe. Maybe they grew up in a home where speaking up caused conflict. Maybe they were ignored when they tried to express themselves. Maybe they were misunderstood so often that they learned it was easier to stay quiet than to explain. Silence can be a shield, and behind that shield is often someone incredibly sensitive, thoughtful, and emotionally deep. There's a quote that says, "Be careful who you call quiet. They're often listening to everything you say and remembering it forever." Silent people don't forget how you made them feel. They don't forget who dismissed them. And they don't forget who showed them kindness. While others move on quickly, silent people carry moments with them, replaying conversations, analyzing meanings, wondering what they could have said differently. Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head hours later, wishing you had spoken up? Silent people do that more than anyone, not because they lack confidence, but because they care deeply about impact. They don't want to speak just to fill space. They want their words to matter. In relationships, silent people love differently. They may not shower you with constant words, but they show love through loyalty, consistency, and quiet support. They notice when your mood changes. They remember small details you forgot you shared. They protect your vulnerabilities because they understand how fragile trust can be. When a silent person opens up to you, it's not casual, it's intentional. And that trust is rare. But here's the part no one talks about enough. Being silent in a loud world is exhausting. Silent people are constantly pressured to be more talkative, more expressive, more outgoing, as if who they are isn't enough. Why are you so quiet? You should talk more. You're so hard to read. Imagine being asked over and over to be someone else just to make others comfortable. That wears on a person. Silent people often feel invisible, even when they're deeply present. They can sit in a room full of people and still feel alone, not because they don't belong, but because no one pauses long enough to notice them, and yet they're usually the ones who notice everyone else. There's another quote that fits perfectly here. The deepest rivers flow with the least sound. Life is like that too. The people with the most depth rarely announce it. They don't need to. They know who they are. Silence is also a sign of self-control. Silent people don't react immediately. They don't explode at every trigger. They process. They reflect. They choose their battles. And in a world addicted to instant reactions, that restraint is a quiet form of strength. Have you ever watched someone insult a silent person, only to be unsettled by how calm they remain? That calm isn't weakness, it's mastery. Silent people understand that not every comment deserves a response, and not every opinion deserves space in their mind. That takes discipline. But silence can become dangerous when it turns inward too long. Silent people often struggle to ask for help. They don't want to burden others. They assume no one will understand anyway. So they carry things alone. Stress, pain, doubt. Until one day it feels too heavy. That's why checking on the quiet ones matters. Not with pressure, but with patience. Real life doesn't need more noise. It needs more understanding. And silent people have a lot to teach us about that. They remind us that listening is a skill, that presence is powerful, that not everything meaningful needs to be loud. If you're a silent person watching this, let me say something you don't hear enough. You are not broken, you are not invisible, you are not behind. Your way of being is valid. The world doesn't need you to be louder, it needs you to be you. And your voice, when you choose to use it, carries weight because it comes from thought, not impulse. And if you know a silent person, here's a question worth sitting with. When was the last time you truly listened to them without trying to fill the silence? When was the last time you made space instead of assumptions? Life has a strange way of revealing truth through quiet moments. In the pause before a response, in the silence after a loss, in the stillness when you finally stop performing and start being. As one quote says, "Sometimes the loudest thing you can do is say nothing and mean it." If this video resonated with you, don't just scroll away. Silence doesn't mean indifference, but engagement matters. Like this video so it reaches someone who needs it. Share it with the quiet friend who never sends these things but feels everything. And comment below. Are you the silent one? Or do you know someone who is? Your words might be the thing that finally makes someone feel seen. And if you stayed until the end, that already tells me something about you.